In a world searching for gaming knowledge comes the man, the myth, a legend in his own mind, Critical. Welcome back, guys and gals, Critical here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Grim Dawn, my face-melting playthrough. Actually, it's a Bleeding Conjurers playthrough, but I swear they melt. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take option A for entry into the dungeon that we have to do today. That's to complete the quest of enter the cave under the burial hill. And basically we have to clear the area out and clear the boss in that area. Now, he's not really that much of a boss mob, but it's the boss for that dungeon area. Now, there's two ways you can go. And I've always preferred going this way versus I guess it would be the front door entrance. It's definitely more protected. Plus, I can get a couple extra mobs over here for some extra experience. There's also an optional dungeon that can appear over here. There will be a dungeon. It's a small little place somewhere in the junkyard area in one of the heaps. But it's probably going to be up to the north on this map this time. But here is Burial Hill entrance. Mob City, but the type of character that I'm playing, this means nothing. Because my Devouring Swarm passes through everything that's on the map, and nothing on the map will survive. Even on Veteran, you know, it's fun. Just fun. Now, these Aether crystals are good for... It's good for upgrading and creating items, crafting and stuff, so definitely pick those up whenever you see them. Once again, something that you don't want to sell. Alright. Heavy armor. Yeah, I think I'll... Oh, no. Don't have the skills for it. Definitely want a little bit more armor in this area. The mobs can hit pretty hard, so... Now, this is the big boss area, the Reanimator. He's what's bringing all the dead back to life in the area. Even when you kill them, the dead still come and attack you, but the storyline is this is what's causing the dead to come up and attack. They've asked you to kill them. Easy peasy. Some more scrap and a nice bit of loot. Nice. Now, over here, you'll find devotion. There's your first devotion shrine, and we'll run up. We'll cleanse the shrine. Basically, cleansing the shrine, clicking on it once you've killed all the mobs, earns you a devotion point that you can then put into your devotion area. And what you have to do is you have to offer up an Aether crystal to do so. Trust me, it's worth it. You also get some loot from doing it too, so all around, it's definitely worthwhile spending the Aether crystals to get devotion. Now, doing this gives me additional physique, cunning, spirit, health, and energy. So spending points in this area is not a waste. It's definitely worthwhile. And this is a buff. It takes some mana, but I'm going to take it. It's useful. And grasping vines is a way to bleed, slow the enemy. So once again, something definitely nice to take. I like putting my buffs in the higher tier number because I only have to cast them once when I start the game up to activate them. And I'll put grasping vines in 1. And that's all. I mean, and when this is upgraded, it's very powerful, so it's nice to have. One more body here. Loot, loot, loot. Gotta love loot. I'm not leveled high enough to use that, so I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff. And it's all white stuff, not really nice to pick it up. Now I'm about to the level where I want to show magic items. So common plus, now I'm going to show magic. So anything that's magic and up is going to show when a loot drops. Now the other stuff is there, I don't want to see it. You can see those items that were down there are no longer there. Let me kill these guys off. If I change it to all loot and go back and go off the screen, those should show back up again. They're common loot. I'm going to show magic loot and up. So basically anything yellow and above should show up on my screen. The white stuff won't show up anymore. Range guys do some damage, but not too much. I'm not too worried about it. Now you can even off screen I can send my vines out there. Even though I can't reach them, I can send the vine. And you saw that fireball fire back and attack. That's because the tick of the vines can cause my fireball or any equipment I have that will do an attack on a percentage chance. The vines can cause my fireball from my weapon to fire off. So everything's ticking. And I'll have multiple fireballs firing out at the same time. It's really nice. You can really add a lot of damage with those type of equipment and skills. And if you don't remember what I was talking about, this weapon has 8% chance on attack. So any kind of attack, every tick of a dot counts as an attack. And I'm utilizing 2 dot attacks now. My grasping vines and my devouring swarm. More scrap, nice. Go and collect these ether crystals. Definitely worth picking up. Bada bing, bada boom. Everything dies. Everything melts and bleeds. Well, that's the Burial Hill run. And they want me to return to the captain. Well, what I like to do is I like to push on and try to get to the next portal if I can. Usually I can. It's usually not that hard. But my inventory is really full. So this time I'm going to go ahead and create my own little personal rift and go back to town. Because there's no reason to explore with a full inventory. If anything decent drops, I'm going to be able to pick it up anyways.
The dead attacks have slowed and their numbers are thinning. I take that as a sign that you've dealt with the source? A creature was doing this? Disturbing. Thanks to your efforts, we may yet hold out here a little longer. I've sent word to the gate guard. Speak to him and he should let you in. Take some well-deserved time to rest and recover. Welcome to Devil's Crossing. I need some time to plan our strategy. In the meantime, There are others around Devil's Crossing who could use your help. Take a moment to mingle with your fellow survivors. Kasparov, our resident scientist, is really eager to speak with you. He babbled some nonsense, but I believe he wants to talk about your connection with the ethereals. Barnabas, our handyman, said he needed help with our water pump. When you're done assisting them, speak with me in my office inside the prison.
So now the other quest givers are opened up to us, as well as the town. This guy will give you a quest. And this is one of those quests where, depending how you complete the quest, how you answer the questions from the quest giver when you get back, he'll have a different response. Now, in this one, it's not so consequential, but in the future, they can be. My other ones are better. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this.
See you around.
Go ahead and talk to the water pump guy. He'll give us another quest to help fix the water pump.
The captain send you over? You must have done quite a service with the dead if he's got hands to spare for old Barnabas. Let's get to business, yeah? Our wind pump's broken down again and we're running low on water. We're all out of parts, so I can't fix her up. Can always melt down what weapons we have, but I'm not too fond of being devoured in my sleep. I'll need scrap from Lower Crossing. Search the ruined houses and the old dumping grounds on the far side of Lower Crossing, past the burial hill. Smash some junk. Search the bodies of those things roaming around out there. Where you get it isn't that important to me, just that you get it soon. We're running out of drinking water. Nothing to be said about ever taking a bath again.
Now he's giving you a quest to pick up scrap. I only have 4 pieces, he needs 5, so I unfortunately ended up 1 short. A lot of times I will continue on to try to find that last piece of scrap. I just forgot that I needed 5, not 4, so.
Welcome to my workshop. I saw you fighting the dead out in Lower Crossing, and I dare say you are absolutely brilliant. Evidently, cutting you off that noose was the best decision the captain made that day. Where are my manners? I'm Kasparov, scientist and inventor. What brings you to my humble shop? Rift gates, yes. The ethereals use them to get around. I was working on a way to close them, but then you stumbled through ours. We have never seen a human, possessed or otherwise, pass through one before. Not a living one, anyway. It was then that I realized that we could put these portals to use. There's something about you that is attuned to the rift gates, and I intend to replicate it. You don't remember anything, do you? I may have taken some liberties while you were out cold. It was just a few tests, a blood sample or 2. Nothing major. The results were curious. It appears that your body is still teeming with residual aether energies. Don't worry, you won't be growing any new limbs, probably. But I'm going on tangents here. I believe that with a correctly tuned pulse of aether energy, we can replicate this phenomenon in a controlled manner, as in without the need for pesky possession. I've been working on just the device to do it, but it needs power. For that, I require aether crystal fragments. Excellent. These will do perfectly. I'll just place them into the device here and... oh my, that's not right. Not at all. That pulse, it wasn't supposed to go off. Oh dear. 1, 2, 3... Yes, my fingers are still intact. Did it reach you too? How do you feel? Very good. I'm sure a little more aether in your system won't do you the slightest harm. Okay, maybe it was a lot more. But you look fine. Fitter than ever. A real shame about the prototype, though. Showed such promise. Perhaps if I had more fragments. We've been so preoccupied with this Riftgate business that I completely forgot about my apprentice, darn it. I sent her out to the Burwich Estates to fetch parts for our research, and she's been gone entirely too long. Seems her ineptitude carries beyond just the workstation. I have to say, I do feel a little responsible for her now that she is my apprentice. Could you please go out there and find that hopeless girl?
And not voiced over, he's just going to open up the door for you. Now, this is the guy that you saw earlier and you open up the Griff Gate for. Once again, it's not voiced, but it is a quest completion. Now, I'm getting plus 50 Devil's Crossing reputation. I'm going to get a piece of scrap, which I need for that quest, and 500 iron. There's no choice to make here, so I'm just going to take it.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Now, this is a reputation vendor. As you complete the game, as you get further into the game, you'll get reputation, and as your reputation increases, you can buy items from this vendor. Very powerful equipment, some of this too.
Put it to good use.
Especially when you haven't found it, because once again, it's a loot game. Another quest giver. I'll leave this up here so you guys can pause it and read through it if you'd like.
What do you want?
Don't worry, we'll take care of him later. This is the captain's office. You can't do anything in here. Devil's Crossing bounty table is something that will open up later, but you have to complete the initial quest lines. Now, this is very nice. This is a smuggler,
Something you need stashed?
and this is an item stash. Now, this area right here is an item stash for all your tunes. Item stash is just for this tune, the one I'm on currently. Item transfer allows me to transfer items between tunes. You get the first bag, and then you have to pay for additional bags. So it's useful to have this, especially if you're playing multiple tunes. Now, if you want to complete components, I've got all these components. I'm going to go ahead and put this together. If I click on this one, any component that can be combined with another component to make a stronger component will actually take place. And so I was able to combine some of my components, and I save space and then make stronger items. Now, these purple items can only go in your item stash, not your item transfer, because those are those are character bound, not account bound. See, can't be placed here. You can't share scrap, and you can't share any purple items. And your bags expand on this side over here. That'll come in a little bit later.
I'll hold on to that for you.
Well, I thank you very much. Now, this is just there is a quest later on where you have to speak to these people, but for right now, it's just G-Wiz talking to you. Now, it's not as a quest, but they give you some information that leads to something out in the world. And the quest line, the quest
Greetings,
information
child.
makes sense when you get
I
there.
am pleased to see that the taint of possession has left you. Should you require it, I offer spiritual guidance to the survivors. I will gladly extend this service to you. Troubled memories can cloud the mind and torment the spirit. With my guidance, you can move past these painful thoughts and begin anew. My knowledge of spirits has allowed me to devise a trap with which we were able to contain you and the ethereal that controlled you. It was not until the noose was firmly around your neck that the spirit left you, though.
Okay, so we get some experience for talking to this person, and this person can let us reset our skill trees. Now, it'll give us back we can take back what we want individually, and it'll cost us bits, but we can't take back the classes that we've chosen. Once you've chosen a class, you can't undo it once you put skills into it. So keep that in mind. But I'm not going to do that right now. I don't need to.
Farewell.
But I wanted to let you know where it was at. And then these areas will expand as these quest lines and the story continues. A little more experience here. Like I said, these notes are useful for the experience you can get from them. And I'll go ahead and put this up here. You can read through it if you'd like. And then it keeps a journal. You can see all the notes that you've collected and read. Alright, I've been sitting on some level ups. Now this is a buff. This is something that gives you health regeneration, and energy regeneration, but it reserves energy. And as you increase it, it reserves more energy, meaning it takes more of your mana to maintain this buff. But this buff is nice to have. I'm only going to put 1 point in it for right now, because I really want to get toward Heart of the Wild and to the Summon the Briarthorn. The Summon the Briarthorn is a pet, and it's nice to have a pet when you're playing this type of tune. Now I might back out of it later on, but for right now I definitely want it. And of course, Entangling Vines buffs my Grasping Vines. But for right now, I'm going to buff up my Devouring Swarm with those points I had. Now I've got 1 devotion point, and to get to the bat, I have to have 1 green affinity before I can even take it. And the green affinity is right here, this crossroads, 18 offensive ability. And you see when I pick that, all these light up. These are ones I can take now. And when I have another point, I'm going to put it into the bat, because that is right where all my points are at. That's where my ability set is tied to right now. Well, this has been episode 2 of Grim Dawn, the Bleeding Conjurer, or face melting build, as I like to put it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this content. Thank you for being here. You have a nice day. Bye.